All right. Trying to get more reps in on my best trades. So now I am doing something new. I'm going to do a video breakdown of my playbook so I can kind of talk out loud. So I don't work for SMB, but here's a disclaimer anyway. So this was a Tesla break of key support, a break of 250 on March 10th, which is last Monday. So bigger picture, market has been selling off since we established this range at the highs, and it's been several weeks that we've been selling quite aggressively, and now the Qs are in correction territory. What is notable about the bigger picture is on Friday before this trade was on a Monday, the Qs sold off, but then they kind of had a little bit of rally off the lows and closed near the highs of the session, giving people the impression that maybe we were going to start to see a bounce. And we held that gap after hours, but we began selling off pre-market and making new lows in Monday's session, which was a tailwind. And as we look at the individual ticker, I think helped us to make this work. So this is a technical trade. There was really no catalyst to this. But our vol was about 1.5. Everything kind of standard. Tesla, big company, $804 billion market cap. So Tesla, ranged around for quite a while, broke out with the election, almost pretty much doubled from 250 to 500, and then has been selling off aggressively for the past 6 weeks. So you can see that 250 level was pretty significant resistance, acted as support, acted as resistance, acted as resistance, acted as resistance, acted as support. And so this is the really first time we're coming into that 250 level since we broke this massive run up and this pretty hard sell. So on the daily, again, kind of more of a zoom in on the 250. You can see we've been just kind of grinding down and kind of bounced a little bit the day before this trade off that 250 level, which we can see more specifically. So you can see hard sell on Friday, hit the 250 level, pretty aggressively bought off it. And, everybody that bought off this 250 level, when we break down below it, they're all wrong. And so these are all trapped longs here that were created at the end of the day on Friday, along with the bigger picture people who have just been bag holding Tesla, for whatever part of its run up. So a lot of these people who have been holding on hope maybe it'll bounce here at 325, maybe it'll bounce at 250. At some point, they're going to capitulate and decide that 250 is a pretty good reason to get out too. So we have kind of a higher time frame participant that could be seeing 250 for a reason to get out of there, and also these shorter time frame dip buyers that are now going to be wrong when we go below 250, also exiting. So we got kind of different time frames aligning to make this trade work. So again, a little zoom in here on the 15 minute. You can see how aggressively we bought up to 250, and you can see that people all this way up were buying it, thinking, okay, here's the big bounce. Maybe we'll take out 265. Maybe we go to 300. So they're all wrong when we break below 250. And, the after hours kind of ground them down on the 15. And you can see then the 60, right? We're just wedging down at 250. So intraday, we pretty much failed through that 250 in the first 5 minutes. We went up, retested it, and failed. We had basically 3 legs down, right? We had 1, 2, and then kind of a half leg, and we closed at low of day. So really classic, like break of a key level trade. So, the strategy here was to get short and a break at 250. And it should have been to add in any clear patterns, opening range break, second chance, retest at 250 and fail. And this should have been a trade to hold. I didn't trade it like that, but those are the lessons here. What I did do well was I used TSLA, which is a leverage product, to exercise this trade idea. And I sold the second chance, the failure of the second chance. So opening range, sets up, pushes up, fails, retest that opening range, and I sold it right here, and I bought it when it came back into the 9. So it was just kind of a quick 3-to-1 scalp. But I really missed the bigger trade. Super easy trade, but definitely given the setup and the higher time frame participants, this was a trade that should have been worth more than that, which is why I'm playbooking it. So what I should have done is I should have sold the break, either sold this stuff or the break of this pre-market support and the 250 level, get an initial feeler position. When it pushes up, and it pushed up right into 250 and failed, should have added when I made a new low, and or taken a full size trade here. And then when we popped in and put a second chance, I should have added again. And then exit 40% when we have a clear close above the 9 EMA, exit another 40% when we get above the 21, and hold the final 20% and see what happens for the rest of the day. That would have been kind of an A execution of this trade, where, I kind of had a C execution. But, it worked. And again, I'm identifying much better setups. So I now need to exercise or express my trade ideas more strategically. So the tape is here if you want to watch it. I'm not going to go through it right now, but lessons learned. So it was a good stock selection, good plan. The entry that I did use was solid, and the idea that I used TSLA to express the idea was really good. What I learned is that when I get a good trade, especially in a tough market, that I need to focus on it and trade it for all I can get, and use the market tailwinds to add conviction. So we sold all this day. So that's another check in favor of this trade. So how could I have done it better? I could have traded it bigger and held more shares till the close. But more realistically, I could have stacked trades, right? This idea that trade 1, stacking trade 2, trade 3, all separate trades, all with the same idea. So I should have been stacking those trades, and I could have held longer. And what I would do differently is stack trades. So that's this trade, and good review for me.